Good morning, I'm Nico Haan, and welcome to Living a Primal Lifestyle, where we explore a return to a more balanced and natural wild world.
To recover our natural health and regain our rights and freedoms. Good morning, I'm Ellen.
It's a beautiful day in downtown St. Petersburg this morning, 64 degrees, and chance of rain about 10%. Humidity's high, though, 88%. But it's still beautiful.
It's still beautiful, yeah.
I'd like to remind you of two things, folks. No matter what you eat, no matter what style you're eating, you're always going to need some extra stuff, and this is the stuff you need.
A little help.
Yeah, we need a little help because, the soil isn't what it used to be, so anything that we grow on it or anything that feeds on the soil is not going to have the vitamins and minerals that we need, so we need to boost them. This is $89 if you subscribe a month.
Primal Edge.
Primal Edge. It's a beautiful thing. Over 310 organic cell liquid ingredients, so it's easy to take. It's all fueled by fulvic and humic acid to get the good stuff in.
And let the bad stuff out.
That's right. And, of course, we have our Health Signals newsletter, which follows the show. So all the articles we talk about during these 2 weeks will be in the next show. Pick that up. It's $10 a month, $5 a visit. Visit to your
telephone number?
Yeah, 877-927-6648. Thanks, baby. Mm-hmm. We're going to talk about breathing today. It's a really important thing, and it's something we
very important.
Yeah, that's right.
If you don't breathe, you don't live.
And it's something we don't often think about, but it's foremost in my mind, especially since the COVID happened. So this article is named "Mouth Breathing at Night: 6 Ways That It's Damaging Your Health." I thought we'd start here because this is a practical way everybody sleeps. And whether you're breathing through your nose or your mouth, it's really important for your health to know the difference between that. Mm-hmm. So when you sleep, do you breathe through your mouth or do you breathe through your nose? And many of us have asked this question, maybe that you've never thought about it.
Well, you know, because if you're snoring, you're breathing through your mouth.
Yeah, but if you're asleep, you may not realize you're snoring.
No, but your partner will.
Well, your partner will, yeah. If you're alone, then maybe tape record yourself or something.
Yeah,
but a lot of times you'll wake up snorting and stuff like that, and that's a pretty good indication. Mm-hmm. There's increasing evidence that whether you nose breathe or mouth breathe at night has significant adverse effects on your short-term and even your long-term health. Turns out the nose breathing is far superior to the method of nighttime respiration, they call that.
Right. It's a far superior method, and it leads to more restful sleep, and it has a lot of other impacts on you.
Yeah. It says we refer to mouth breathing simply referring to when the body is respirating with the mouth open. While the mouth is open, the body's natural tendency is to inhale and exhale through the mouth. This is referred to the mouth breathing. And when the mouth is closed, the body's natural tendency is to inhale and exhale through the nose, and that's what we call the nose breathing. Difference sounds like it's a simple thing, and there's not too much difference between it, but there's a huge difference.
Well, and human bodies are built to breathe through their noses.
Yes, they are.
And that's the difference there. It's a great, fortunately, it's a backup if your nose gets clogged, if you catch a cold or something like that. But mouth breathing during sleep can actually be harmful. So. Yeah.
If you're breathing through your mouth while sleeping, there's a good chance you're snoring as well. Mm-hmm. And that can be embarrassing. It can be annoying to the other person.
If you're sleeping in the room with somebody,
yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm.
But if we told you that most people who snore could instantly stop snoring if they just close their mouth.
Yeah, so does that mean you reach over and go?
Yeah, well, that's what we used to do to little kids, right? Close your mouth, But most snoring is caused by the disruption of flow of the air through your throat. When the air can't fully go through your throat to your lungs, it causes your mouth tissues to vibrate. And these vibrations cause the familiar snoring sound. So this leads to irritability, daytime sleeplessness, lack of focus, and relationship problems if your partner is awoken by that. But the good news is there's finding a way to keep your mouth closed. I mean, there's ways of doing it.
Yeah, there are. And other symptoms of that you're breathing through your mouth at night would be dry mouth and sore throat. And so every once in a while you wake up feeling kind of dry and even a little raw in the throat. And it's interesting because it says that when you breathe through your mouth, the inside of your mouth is exposed to the air around you and leads to moisture evaporating at a significantly higher rate than if your mouth is closed. This dries out the inside of your mouth. And then in that, when you dry out the inside of your mouth and when you're breathing through your mouth, airborne particles can go directly down your throat. And that's what causes the sore throat feeling.
Yeah, because when you breathe through your nose, you have little hairs in your nose, and they filter out these particles. But without this filtration system, mouth breathing for hours can end up leading to the sore throat and even illnesses such as pneumonia.
Yeah.
So maybe the problems that you're having respiratory-wise might be because of what you're doing at night.
Yeah, it's interesting because if you're having a lot of feeling the allergic symptoms and dry throat and so on, and you think, well, it's allergy season, but maybe it's because you're actually breathing through your mouth.
Yeah, and also sinus or nasal congestion is another symptom. When you wake up and your nose is plugged, this is a good sign that you've probably been breathing through your mouth.
Yeah, and they say when you breathe through your mouth, your body expels too much carbon dioxide, which creates an imbalance, and that causes your cells to create mucus to slow down your breathing. So
it's a vicious cycle.
Yeah.
Leading to a higher CO2 imbalance, leading to more mucus, leading to more mouth breathing, and it goes on and on. The result is your mouth breathing all night.
And then you wake up feeling highly congested.
That's right.
One way that we've dealt with that is to use the elevated head.
Yeah.
Multiple pillows, or the bed. We have the sleep number beds, so the beds can be raised
up.
slightly. Yeah, just to open your airways and help prevent mouth breathing.
Yeah. Number 4 in this is reduced sleep quality. So one of the impacts of breathing through your mouth at night can actually lower the quality of your sleep. You'll wake up 8 hours of nose breathing, you'll feel much fresher. And so,
and energetic. Everything goes down to getting a good night's sleep and breathing and filling your cells with oxygen and
and there's another molecule that's really important. It's a natural occurring molecule in the human body, is nitric oxides, which helps tremendously with things like digestion, athletic performance, weight loss, mental health, healthy blood pressure, immunity, inflammation, and cognitive function.
Yeah, and that's not to be confused with nitrous oxide.
Yes, that's the laughing gas. Yeah, nitric oxide. Yeah, this is the cleansing molecules.
Yeah, it's...
Also, the relaxation response is a psychological or physiological response that can help you counteract negative effects of your body's fight or flight response.
It's also called the parasympathetic response.
Right, and this happens, if you're constantly waking up and you're snorting and things like that, that's the flight or flight response kicking in.
Elevated heart rate and so on.
So
let's keep talking about this when we come back.
We'll be back in a few minutes. Stick around.
Introducing Primal Edge.
Today, it's even more important to take a supplement that complements your health. Primal Edge is specifically formulated to boost your immune system and help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Our early ancestors found all their nutritional requirements in the wild environment. But today, our food sources don't contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients that we need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated humic and fulvic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They've been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, without them, life cannot exist.
That's right, Ellen. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge. Just $89 exclusively at TFNN.com.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com. Will the S&P 500 continue to climb? For bold trades on U.S. large-cap stocks in either direction, trade SPXL, SPUU, or SPXS. Directions Daily S&P 500 Bull and Bear Leveraged ETFs. Direction Leveraged ETFs. An investor should carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risks, charges, and expenses before investing. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a fund's prospectus and summary prospectus, call 866-476-7523 or visit directioninvestments.com. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Welcome back, and we're talking about breathing and how snoring and things like that are bad for you. One of the things it mentions in here is that when you breathe out of your mouth, you actually expel too much carbon dioxide. In turn, this over-breathing creates an imbalance of carbon dioxide and oxygen. So, since sufficient levels of carbon dioxide are necessary for proper brain and muscle function, mouth breathing at night can lead to a lot of problems,
especially and physical.
Yeah, and they mention here the CPAP compliance. That's
CPAP.
For CPAP, which is the sleep apnea thing. I also mentioned deteriorating dental hygiene.
We're going to talk about that in just a second.
One of the things they mention at the end of this article is how to prevent mouth breathing at night, and they have this simple device that shows the guy, I don't know if you can see it, but he's got tape over his mouth. And there's a special tape called Somnifix.
It's a special tape.
Yeah,
it's not Scotch tape or duct tape or packing
well, I wouldn't
tape.
recommend duct tape, that's for sure.
No.
One thing I've noticed is that a lot of them, really stick. So I put little tabs on them or just fold them over a little bit so it's easy in the morning to take off. So that's, something to think about.
Yeah, well, they say that, we talked a little bit before the break about nitric oxide and how important it is because it does provide an antiviral, antifungal, antibacterial, and antiparasitic properties. So it boosts your immune system and it makes it easier for you to fight off infections. They say that the causes of mouth breathing, because when you're sleeping and you're breathing through your mouth, it could be nasal congestion and stuffy nose. It could be your jaw size and shape, your nose size and shape.
Yeah, and remember that Paige often talked about reshaping her mouth because of that. And we'll go into that the next time.
Nose shape and size, and large tonsils, radenoids, deviated septum, then nasal polyps, which are benign tissue growths in the nose, occasionally, very rarely, a tumor, and oral conditions such as crowded teeth can actually lead to mouth breathing. So,
some of the symptoms are crowded teeth, crooked teeth, dry mouth, cracked lips, digestive issues, bad breath, tooth decay.
Inflamed red and swollen gums, poor sleep, chronic fatigue, heavy snoring, morning headaches, and sore throat. So, and it's a common symptom of asthma, chronic colds, thumb sucking, nasal, septum deviation, or seasonal allergies. But it can also be a sign of underlying oral condition. Yeah,
this makes me think of being a child and, that you stick something in their mouth like not maybe the thumb, but the pacifier. Which is the same thing in a sense, and that could be causing problems too. So don't do that, I would say. So they mention here sleep apnea, small jaw is linked to sleep apnea, which is a sleeping disorder caused by the blockage in the upper airways while sleeping.
And that sleep apnea is when your breathing stops and starts. Every once in a while you do that, and I kind of listen to see if you...
shake me a little or something like that.
Yeah.
Yep. Not good. Sleep. The treatment for that includes devices, surgery, and different types of therapy.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the
also, of course, one of the causes, an external cause, of course, is obesity, overweight. When you lie down, all the weight shifts.
That can be definitely a problem.
It can really be a problem.
The misaligned teeth. If the teeth in the upper or lower jaw are misaligned, mouth breathing may occur. For example, if you have a crossbite or an underbite, it's more likely to mouth breathe.
Yeah, it can also alter facial growth, so that if a child has a small upper jaw and mouth breathes, that child will have a higher chance of developing a crossbite.
Yeah, and this can lead to skeletal deformities, improper facial growth, and jaw pain.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things to this.
Things you don't think about.
Yeah.
Mouth breathers commonly have smaller jaws, which leads to crooked teeth or a very gummy smile.
Dry mouth and cavities. A dry mouth, which is when it's the salivary glands don't make enough saliva, then it keeps your mouth drier.
And what you don't realize is that saliva protects teeth against cavities because it washes out plaque, and it aids in remineralization. So if the mouth isn't producing enough saliva, you can get cavities.
Yeah, and this, of course, long term, this leads to gum disease,
drying out the mouth's tissue lining,
gingivitis, things like that.
Yeah.
Then you can have speech and difficulty swallowing.
Speech disorders.
Yeah, like I have sometimes.
And sometimes it can make it difficult to chew food, swallow, and talk normally.
Yeah.
Because that could also happen if you're dyslexic or
Sure.
if you have...
I wish I am, for sure. Enlarged tonsils. Some children have adenoids or enlarged tonsils, which make the airways narrower and results in snoring and pausing to breathe, like we said.
Yeah.
Some of the common treatments they mention here are the CPAP devices, oral appliance therapy. That sounds horrible.
Well, I mean, you just put a retainer in your mouth of some kind, you know. And
still sounds bad.
It does. It does.
Nasal or throat surgery, which is a minor thing.
Yeah, it depends on, that's polyps or things of that nature.
Yeah, and then, of course, they have major surgery, which I can't even pronounce that word.
Well, that has to do with the back of your throat.
Yeah.
So.
Jaw surgery, braces or clear liners. Jaw repositioning appliances like Paige went through.
Yeah.
If your mouth breathing is caused by chronic cold or seasonal allergies, these treatments
asthma,
they may include treatments of nasal decongestions, antihistamines, prescription steroids in nasal sprays, or an inhaler of some kind.
A steroid inhaler.
Yeah.
So what causes you to breathe through your mouth? Again, a blocked nasal passageway. So it can be temporary, it can be some kind of a permanent obstruction. And what causes it at night, when you're lying in a position that's twisting your head or blocking your nose.
Or if you have a stuffy nose, that will start it too. And what are the side effects of the breathing? Well, dry mouth, cavities, gum disease, difficult speaking, skeletal deformities in the face, and jaw pain are all possible side effects of mouth breathing.
Yeah. Now it says here, it's interesting because they also talk about, can mouth breathing cause digestive problems? Now, you wouldn't automatically connect that.
Right.
So it can cause aerophagia, where air passes from the stomach to the small intestine, which can cause abdominal bloating, intestinal pain, and excessive burping.
Yeah. And it can cause you to cough. So because your mouth is dry, this irritates your throat, causing you to cough. It can also cause shortness of breath. It can you wake up with a sore throat is another thing.
Well, the thing about shortness of breath is because when you mouth breathe, you let out too much carbon dioxide, and the balance isn't there.
Right.
And your body's trying to compensate. Okay.
And mouth breathing is a common symptom of asthma, chronic colds, thumb sucking. We went over this, I guess, in the other article.
Yeah.
And why is it bad to be a mouth breather? Mouth breathing can cause a number of symptoms, including all these things that we mentioned.
Yeah, it's a pretty interesting.
I would, if you have this symptom, I would recommend the tape. The tape works really good, and it'll give you a good indication of if that's it or not. So that's an important thing. There's a fellow here. Let's see. Well, we're going on a break, so I'd like to remind you of two things to pick up the Primal Edge, our one-shot wonder, and also please pick up the Health Signals newsletter so you can follow the show. And Ellen and I will be right back.
You've heard Nico Haan as co-host of Living a Primal Lifestyle, which airs every Friday at noon Eastern Time on TFNN, and would like to tell you about the personal training studio that Nico is the owner and president of, Performance Training. Since 1998, Nico has trained individuals and groups to improve their health both mentally and physically. As a certified personal trainer, Nico's main focus is on demonstrating exercises correctly to avoid injury and teaching his clients how to manage their past injuries while getting the most out of their personal training sessions. The Performance Training Studio is filled with unique training equipment that enhances balanced results at a faster rate while minimizing damage and discomfort. For more information, you can give Nico a call at 727-418-8740 or email him at nico@tfnn.com. Let him know you heard him on TFNN and save up to $100 on a special package just for TFNN listeners. Act today. If you're not currently using the TAS Profile Scanner when looking at setting up your trading opportunities, then your arsenal is short a mighty weapon. The TAS Profile Scanner is a standalone piece of software that instantly filters over 2,500 global financial markets such as stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, and Forex. Headed by Steve Dahl, TAS understands that in today's technological world, the use of top-flight software applications and technical analysis expertise is essential to successful trading in today's market. You also gain access to the webinar that Steve Dahl and Tom O'Brien just hosted, The Best Way to Use the TAS Profile Scanner to Profit. This webinar archive is available for all subscribers immediately upon signing up. All new subscriptions also come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. Start your subscription by visiting the front page of TFNN.com today, and you'll find the TAS Profile Scanner under the Services tab. Sign up today. Are you in the market for buying or selling real estate in the Bay Area, including the surrounding St. Petersburg, Tampa, and Clearwater markets? Tiger Real Estate LLC is a firm that has extensive experience in the Tampa Bay area. Whether you're looking to sell your current property for maximum value, or you're in the market for a second home or investment property, Tiger Realty has the experience across all areas of real estate in the Tampa Bay area to help buyers and sellers make the most informed decisions across all price levels. From the price you should be paying per square foot in certain up-and-coming areas to the type of cash flow investment properties are capable of creating, Tiger Real Estate can help you make the best decision when it comes to all areas of the market. Before you make one of the biggest decisions of your financial future, call Tiger Real Estate LLC today at 727-329-8322 or email us at tiger@tfnn.com. That's 727-329-8322. Call us today.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Today we're talking about breathing.
Yes.
And we came upon an interesting book called Breath, written by James Nestor. He's actually a journalist, but he started doing research into the subject of breathing. Mm-hmm. One thing that's interesting, breathing is an autonomic nervous response. The body does it without thinking. I mean, fortunately, you don't have to engage your brain to remind yourself to breathe. And humans typically take 25,000 breaths a day. So the COVID-19, of course, has put a little more emphasis on breathing and on respiratory illnesses and the complications that can occur. And James Nestor became interested in it a few years ago after his doctor recommended he take a breathing class to help him because he had recurring bronchitis and pneumonia. Yeah. And so while he was researching that, he did quite a bit of study on it, and he talked about the nose that filters, heats, and treats the raw air. And it has, the body maintains balance because when you breathe through your right nostril, this is interesting, circulation speeds up, the body gets hotter, cortisol levels increase, blood pressure increases. Breathing through your left nostril leads to decrease in blood pressure, lowering the temperature, cooling the body, and reducing anxiety. So, and then when you breathe through your mouth, you don't have any of that because it's not going through the filters and not going through the process that the body was designed to do.
Yeah, a couple of things he talks about. One of them is that he blocked his nose for like 4 days and just breathed through his mouth and wanted to see what the repercussions were. And there were many. And all these things that we talk about with the dry throat and him not feeling well and having no energy anymore. So this is a huge thing. And it's an interesting book because I like the way he kind of starts out with the history of tying this back to when we changed our food. It's a really important thing to remember. He says we started getting our jaws differently and more narrow because of the food we were eating. And so about 10,000 years ago or 12,000 years ago, we started farming. And the more we started farming, the softer the food got. And by the 1700s, people were canning things and making things a lot softer. There was a real problem with the breathing. And people, jaws were different shape and everything like that. So he goes through the histories. Yeah, so it's a real interesting book. He talks about that, the time when he was forced to breathe through his mouth and the repercussions of that.
Well, he said he developed sleep apnea. His anxiety level went through the roof, and he had all kinds of problems as a result of not being able to breathe through his nose. He did that for 10 days, actually.
Yeah. So then he talks about this interview that was taking place about why it's important to breathe through the nose and why the mouth breathing is not so good for you. One of the things is really interesting. The nose is more closely connected with our genitals than any other organ, and it covers the same. It's covered in the same tissue. So it's an area that gets stimulated, and some people have too closer connections when they get stimulated. In the southern regions, they start to uncontrollably sneeze. I never heard of that too much.
No,
maybe I'm doing it wrong. I don't know.
It's called honeymoon rhinitis. It's got a name.
Yeah.
Everything has a name. Yeah.
Another thing that's really fascinating, that this erectile tissue will pulse on its own. So it will close one nostril and allow breath in through the other nostril, and then the other nostril will close and allow breath through the other ones. Kind of what, like you talked about. Yeah, they're alternating because they have different functions.
And it's balanced.
Yeah, so your body balances itself naturally to do this.
Yeah, and it's... so he says, think about breathing as being in a boat. You take a bunch of very short strokes with your oar, and you're going to get to where you want to go. It'll take a while, but you'll get there. Or you can take a few very fluid and long strokes with the oar and get there much more efficiently. So you want to make it as easy as possible for your body to get the air, all portions of the air, and the benefits that it needs. So extending inhales and exhales, moving their diaphragm up and down a little bit more, you can actually have a profound effect on your blood pressure and your mental state.
Yeah. It talks about how breath affects anxiety. So what happens when you breathe, that much is in your... So what happens when you breathe, that much is...
that much.
That much is you're constantly putting yourself in a state of stress.
Yeah, your body, when you're breathing quickly, your body reads it as a fear or a flight response, preparing to run. And, your brain's not particularly discriminating. You're breathing too fast, must be a problem.
Yeah.
Anxiety goes up.
Yeah, it talks about why exhaling helps you relax. And exhaling is the only thing that you really need to concentrate on, because inhaling is automatic. When you need it, you're going to do it. So through yoga and through different breathing techniques, you're always concentrating on the exhale more than the inhale, although
it's important to breathe with your diaphragm. That's what the diaphragm is for. That's the middle of your stomach, as opposed to your chest. Yes, the chest will add the topping off of the oxygen, but Too many people are so stressed, they're clenching their middles and they're not expanding their diaphragms.
Yeah. He mentions here, too, on free divers have the ability to expand their lung capacity to hold their breath for several minutes. In fact,
8 minutes is...
Yeah, the world record is actually 12 and a half minutes. Most divers will hold their breath for 8 minutes, 7 minutes, which is still incredible. When I do my breathing exercises, sometimes I get up to 3 minutes, but not much more than that usually. But it takes practice, I think, and there's different methods.
Sure.
So we'll talk about some of those different methods, too.
Yeah, and the other thing is that you can increase your lung capacity. It is possible to do that, and it's through exercises just like you exercise your muscles.
Mm-hmm. We can absolutely affect our lung capacity. So some of the divers that he talks about have a lung capacity of 14 liters, which is about double the size of a typical adult male. They weren't born this way. They trained themselves to breathe in ways to profoundly affect their bodies. So it's really interesting that we can affect not only just the way we breathe and have that larger capacity, but this has everything to do with our health, not only our physical health, but our mental health. Mm-hmm. We talk about anxiety in that. And when we practice these different types of breathing methods, which we're going to talk about in the next segment, you're actually able to see the differences if you time yourself. And I'm surprised how many different methods there are, but a lot of these things come out of Ayurvedic medicine and yoga and the divers and all these different techniques that people have used for thousands of years. I think about hunting. You know, you have to be stealth, so you're breathing much more shallow. Maybe you take a long breath. When something is real close or you're afraid of something, you may hold your breath. And all these techniques have really sound health principles.
And yoga,
holding your breath does.
Yoga breath.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes if I go to sleep, when I first lie in the bed, my heart is pounding just a little bit, so I do the yoga breathing, and it just takes a few seconds.
Cool. So we'll talk about the methods when we get back. Stick around, folks.
Introducing Primal Edge.
Today, it's even more important to take a supplement that complements your health. Primal Edge is specifically formulated to boost your immune system and help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Our early ancestors found all their nutritional requirements in the wild environment. But today, our food sources don't contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients that we need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated humic and fulvic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They've been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, without them, life cannot exist.
That's right, Ellen. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge. Just $89 exclusively at TFNN.com.
Hi, folks. This is Tom O'Brien. The printing presses are working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The U.S. deficit has risen 200% in 1 year with no end in sight. The markets are looking for an additional stimulus bill to get us through this once-in-a-generation pandemic. There is no free lunch, folks. The more stimulus dollars put into the marketplace, the less your dollar is worth each and every day. This is the time to protect yourself with a portion of your portfolio in the metal market. The Gold Report comes out each Monday morning. I bisect and dissect the dollar, silver, gold, the XAU, and the HUI. The Gold Report is a long-term hedge against the dilution of your buying power. The U.S. has put more than $6 trillion into the marketplace in the last 6 months, with more expected in the next few months. The market did and does need the stimulus, but it will have long-term implications on our buying power. The Gold Report comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Go to TFNN.com and order the Gold Report now. Protect your buying power. Order the Gold Report now.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
And welcome back. Before we get to the breathing exercises, there's some videos from James Nestor.
The one who wrote the book on breathing.
Lots of different videos. I'm going to stick these all into the Health Signals newsletter so you can take a look at these yourself. They're real interesting. But now we're going to go to this other article, which is how to get started in 10 breathing exercises. So breathing exercises don't have to take a lot of time out of your day. It's really just setting aside a little time. I usually do my breathing exercises for about 15 minutes. But you can start with just 5 minutes a day. I do them in the morning when I wake up, and then I do it sometime in the evening, and not right before I go to bed. I do them before I go to jiu-jitsu, because it really helps my performance. So there's a lot of, and I do the Wim Hof, which we'll talk about in the last section. If 5 minutes seems too long, just start with 2 minutes a day. Practice multiple times a day. Schedule times for practicing. So if you have time to do that, it's a good time. And during the COVID time, these are all respiratory ailments that we're talking about with COVID. So this is a big, huge help for that. And as we can see with all these articles, it helps with lots of things, all the way down to cancer. If cancer's in your blood, I'd be doing the Wim Hof breathing methods 10 times a day to get rid of that stuff. So this is a real gateway to health, and it's very important to realize it.
Doesn't require any equipment, doesn't require special clothes, doesn't require a place it doesn't require a mat.
Right. So there's different types. It says here you can practice pursed lip breathing at any time. It's especially useful during activities such as bending, lifting, or stair climbing. And you can practice this 4 or 5 times a day. And the way you really get started is relax your neck and your shoulders.
And you know, that is the key thing. How many times I'm sitting at the computer and I realize that my shoulders are up and that I'm tense and I have to consciously relax them. And when I read this, relax your neck and shoulders, there was some tension there. I had to consciously let it go. Yeah. And then keeping your mouth closed, inhale slowly through your nose for 2 counts.
Then pursed or puckered lips, as if you're going to whistle, and then exhale slowly by blowing the air through those pursed lips through the count of 4. Exactly. Nice. Belly breathing can be used to using your diaphragm properly. So do belly breathing exercises when you feel when you're feeling relaxed and rested already.
And the way they set that up is to, lie on your back with your knees slightly bent, your head on a pillow. You may place a pillow under your knees for support. And the key here is that you place a hand below your rib cage, a hand on your chest, so you can feel where you're breathing and that your diaphragm is rising up.
Right. And slowly inhale through your mouth, feeling your stomach pressing into your hands.
Inhale through your nose.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, folks. And then keep the other hand still as possible.
So the idea is not to have your chest going up and down, but rather to be breathing through your diaphragm so that you feel it.
And then exhale through your pursed lips as you tighten your stomach muscles, keeping the upper hand completely still.
Yeah.
And then you have...
and then it says once you've learned how to do it, you can actually do it sitting in a chair as well, or maybe reclining in a chair, and it'd be a little easier before you go to the just sitting upright.
Yeah, you can focus on a word that makes you smile, or you feel relaxed, or you can simply something neutral to think about. You can just think about the breathing. Is a good way. Examples include peace, letting go, relax, telling yourself these things. And as you build up your breath, start with a 10-minute session. Gradually increase. So you can do it for 20 minutes if you have the time to do that.
And that's deep breathing.
Mm-hmm.
And then they say again, you have to focus on your breathing and the breaths, and alternate between normal and deep breaths a few times, and notice any differences between the normal breathing and the deep breathing. Notice how your abdomen expands when you do deep inhalations.
And notice how shallow breathing feels compared to the deep breathing. And as I'm going through the Wim Hof thing, a lot of times I'll have a shallow one go in there, and I go, oh, what's going on here? But then the next one might be a large. So it's an interesting process.
And then again, notice how your stomach is rising and falling with the exhales. And then they encourage you to make sound. Let out a loud sigh as you exhale.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then you do this, combine the deep breathing with imagery, a focus word or a phrase that helps you. When I went through a few different training sessions over the years and courses, and one of the things is, even in yoga, when you touch your middle finger to your thumb, if you've connected it through mental process, it instantly causes relaxation to do that. Once you've repeated and connected the gesture with the thought and the process. So
they also bring the practice of breath focus by combining this deep breathing with imagery or a focus
that's what
word.
we were just talking about.
Yeah. You can imagine the air you inhale bring waves of peace and calm throughout your body. Inhale peace and calm, they say.
Yeah, you can. And again, what you tell yourself is what your brain believes. So
you can tell yourself to exhale the tension and the anxiety.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And you can picture it flowing out of you. You can picture filling your body with peace and tranquility, and letting go of everything, And there have been times when if I'm feeling out of wellness, if my throat was a little scratchy and things were going on, I pictured pulling it, just like removing an entire mask off the top of my head.
Cool.
Just pulled it right off and discarded it, and all my symptoms went away.
Mm-hmm. There's a type of breathing called lion's breath. It's an energized yoga breathing practice that is said to relieve tension in your chest and your face. It's also known in yoga as lion's pose.
And the thing about tension in your face, that's what leads to the wrinkles too. You get those lines around your mouth. You get the deep lines ingrained in your forehead, from tension in your face.
Here's a picture of the lion's breath.
Yeah, just stick your tongue out and push forward, contract the muscles at the front of your throat as you exhale out through your mouth. I'm not going to demonstrate that one.
Okay. Well, there's a lot of different ones.
And that particular pose is particularly effective if you have any kind of a scratchy throat or a dry throat. It immediately relieves that.
Mm-hmm. Alternate nose breathing has been shown to enhance cardiovascular function and to lower the heart rate.
And they want you to do that on an empty stomach.
Yeah. Choose a comfortable seating position. Lift your right hand towards your nose, pressing first the and middle fingers towards your palm and leaving the other fingers extended. Sounds complicated to me. After your exhale, I think just going from one side of the nose to the other side of the nose, and that's simple enough. So,
well, I think they're just saying, hold it this way. And then.
Who cares how you hold it as long as you do it, as far as I'm concerned. The equal breath is known as Vritti in Sanskrit. I was never good at pronouncing Sanskrit. The breathing technique focuses on making your inhales and exhales the same length. Making your breath smooth and steady can help to receive.
Again, if you're panting, if you're breathing unevenly, and all of that gives the brain a key that something is wrong and we need to do something, and everything gets amped up and blood pressure goes up, and
there's a lot of things in here. So when we go to the newsletter, all this stuff will be in here, and they've got a dozen of them. So stick around. We got a little bit more. I've got some Wim Hof coming up. Be right back.
in the day, I joined Hotel California in 2006, and like many of you, was drawn in by, as well as,
Whatever you think about, you bring about. Whatever you focus on grows.
you see, I believe that everything in life happens for us, not to us. And Tom ignited the fire within me to want to learn how to master the markets. So how did I go from knowing nothing about technical analysis to becoming the #1 market timer for the S&P 500 in 2018 and the #2 market timer in 2019? Simply put, I hired coaches with a proven track record, which led me to a whole new set of tools that I created to interpret the message of buyers and sellers. I would love the opportunity to teach you this award-winning set of tools and to help you improve your market timing. You can test drive my newsletter service, Mastering Probabilities, for the next 30 days with no risk to you. Plus, you'll gain access to archive workshops that'll take you step by step through my system. Sign up today by going to the homepage of TFNN.com and selecting Mastering Probability in the newsletter tab.
Hi folks, Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates for my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights, today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get them, folks.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern, for free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
Now, there's a gentleman by the name of Wim Hof, and he created a breathing techniques series of exercises that were intended to strengthen the body. And it involves inhaling and exhaling with no force. So, we've talked a lot about the benefits and how it works and so on. Let's go through the steps.
Well, the thing with this is the breathing method I use the most. I think it has the most impact on me personally. I really feel good. I feel the tingling and all the stuff that he talks about. We don't have a lot of times to go into it. But the thing you do is you take some deep breaths and you go... and you relax, taking it out, and you go about 30 to 40 of these, and you'll start feeling tingling in your arms and your legs. That's a clear sign you're doing it right.
Yeah, inhale deeply through the nose or mouth. Exhale unforced through the mouth.
Yeah. You hold for as long as you can after the 30. So you exhale. You do 30 of them or 40 of them, and then you exhale, and now you hold your breath as long as you can.
Yeah,
the beginners, 30 seconds. I'm right at a minute and a half about normally when I do it. And then you take a big inhale and you hold that for 15 seconds and then you exhale and then you start the process over again. A minimum of 3. I've done as many as 8 or 10. And boy, after 8 or 10, your whole body is just shimmering. It's really good. This is so important for health. This will eliminate disease. This will eliminate anything in your body that's not supposed to be there. And then Wim Hof has proved this over and over. If you've read about him, you know the things he does, and he takes people on Kilimanjaro who have never climbed anything before. They do it without oxygen, and he gets everybody up there. And normally the people are between 50 and 80 years old who do this. He has other types of things like jumping in cold water, which I've done, all fantastic things. So it's important to read these and get into this, and if you have any kind of ailment, you use this to get better.
And he also, not only the cold plunge, but he also talks about your mental attitude and the things you tell yourself. And, and again, once again, talking to yourself is the most important thing. And you believe what you tell yourself. So
more than anything else.
Everybody, be well, be happy, be serene, and be kind.
And breathe. See you next week.